Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of PlayStation Pursuit. Now, in this episode, I only have a few more additions, and most of them, in fact, all but one, are from Pawn King, which is a pawn store chain that is in the Syracuse area, and I've been to there multiple times. Talked about a couple of other past episodes. So, I went there because I'd seen some of these games there before, and I was hoping they'd still be there because I needed them. And even though it had been a few months since I had been to this location, they did have the games I was looking for. But there's one other thing too. So stick around this episode, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so the first thing that I got this episode is a strategy guide, which I had a couple in the last episode. And this one I found it at Goodwill. So I stopped there. I actually was on lunch for work, and I was happy to be near a Goodwill, so I was like, I might as well walk in. Crap for games, of course. But I was looking through the books, and I saw a strategy guide I didn't have, and it's for a game that I actually really like, so I was pretty stoked. And that is the official Parasite Eve strategy guide. So official Square Enix guides. Well, Square. At this time it was SquareSoft, so even before the merger. I love these guides. Like when I went through the PlayStation era Final Fantasies, I liked having these guides, except for the Final Fantasy IX one really sucked. So this was pretty cool to have and to find just randomly. I'm like, hey, it's like it was there waiting for me. So pretty cool to have that. So that was the only non-Pawn King thing I wanted to show off real quick for that. So the next thing is a demo disc that I got at Pawn King, which kind of starts off the stack of the rest of them are actual games. And they gave me this for free because it's a demo disc and they're not going to get anybody to buy this. And maybe I would have paid $1, but they didn't offer it, so that's their loss. But anyway, pretty cool to get it. I have the game itself. It is ODT, which I think when I picked it up, I might have mentioned that I think it stood for Or Die Trying, and as opposed to the game cover, this actually says Escape or Die Trying underneath the ODT. At least I don't think it was on the disc of the other one, because if it was, then I was an idiot for saying that's what I think it says when it's right here. It says free one-player demo inside, and it's another Psygnosis game. So pretty cool. Not too hot on getting all the demo discs, but of course, if I can find them for cheap or free in this case, I'll definitely get those. So I'm gonna leave you hanging for the actual games because I'm going to talk about some more PlayStation favorites, and then when I come back, I will show you those. So stick around. Okay, so the first PlayStation favorite I want to talk about now, if you don't like really fun and funny quiz games for the PlayStation 1, then you don't know Jack. So you don't know Jack. There's 1 and 2, and I think I remember, I have 2, but I think I remember this one just being a lot better than the second one, in my opinion. But this is a really fun trivia game. It doesn't have like all super hard trivia. It's got some pretty good family friendly stuff that like any level of intellect or knowledge, I guess, not intellect because you don't have to be smart, you just have to know your stuff, and otherwise you don't know Jack. So it's a good and well rounded party game, and it was funny. I haven't played it in a while. Maybe the jokes are just eye-rollingly bad, but in my opinion, that would still be fun to play just to hear them. I don't think they're awful. I think it's got some funny wit. The host in the game, you don't ever see him, and it's funny. I think when I was younger, I like always imagined this bald guy was like the host, and it's like there is no host. It's just the voice. But it's really funny. It's got tons of questions, and like most trivia games or puzzle games on consoles that have like answers, it's it's tough because when you play it more and more and more, the questions can get repeated. But this game saved on the memory card, and I remember that way it would avoid repeating stuff. So if you play it just without, I must have play it raw. Is that what you call it when you open a memory card in? We're going in raw, and you don't know Jack. But yeah, if you had a memory card, I remember it would save stuff so you're not hearing the same questions, because that was a problem with a lot of games. Some cartridge like Jeopardy games and stuff back in the day, it was so annoying. But because you'd be like, well, I know this one, you don't, because I played this already. But it was a fun game. It had cool categories. It's not just like straight answers. It's got like a question called, I think it's this or that, and it's got like that kind of a question format. It's multiple choice. It's up to 3 players, so I can't remember how. Well, it's multi tap compatible, but I think there's a way to play 3 players where like two people are on one controller where like they can use the directional buttons or something. I remember something like that in the past. Yep, shared controllers. So pretty cool. You buzz in for questions and stuff, and it had just like a really cool style. It was like a black background with like stuff flying in and out for the questions and cool animations. It kind of just went along with the simplistic but very iconic tone that this game had. I think it was on PC as well, and that's where it probably started from. And they probably have a lot more on PC, but for the PlayStation there was two, and I liked playing this back in the day. So probably still pretty fun to play with friends, and it's not the greatest game in the world, but I always liked it, so I wanted to talk about it as one of my PlayStation favorites. So the next game that I want to talk about on this episode, it's a game I haven't played in years. So I'm going off of dormant memories of really liking this back in the day. And I probably should have checked it out before talking about it just to see if it still holds up. But I kind of wanted to just, wing it and see if, this is a game. I don't think it's too pricey. So if you can find it, check it out for yourself too, because I think it's really cool. The game is called Ray Tracers. And it's got a car, obviously, on the front like this. But it's not your standard, like, racing game. It's kind of more along the lines of, like, Spy Hunter. Or there's a game I got recently called Tokyo Highway Battle, and basically what separates that is you're trying to like keep under the checkpoint system in terms of time, so you don't run out of time limit, but get to like an enemy or a boss. And I think there's like traffic that you have to dodge and stuff like that along the way, much like in a Spy Hunter game. And then when you get to the bosses, you gotta like crash into them and stuff. And it's got that same kind of very arcadey feel. It has, if I remember correctly, it's got very Japanese style sensibilities to the art style. I can't remember if it has like cinematics that go along with that, but it definitely feels like an old school Japanese arcade game. And some of the bosses are like big mech tanks and stuff like that. But it's really cool. And one of the things I really like about it, it has pretty clear, crisp graphics, but they run at, if not 60 frames per second, very close. It's a very fast, smooth, and high resolution game for the PlayStation. So tech-wise, I thought it was really cool back in the day. And I remember just being kind of addicting because of the fast-paced nature of it with the frame rate and just the gameplay. And yeah, if you like that style of game, because it's almost like a subgenre, there's definitely games in this style. I think, I don't know if Tokyo Extreme Racer has that boss style thing, but it's definitely like a, more of a forward momentum game rather than like a lap-based racing game. Pretty cool. Kind of has like shades of like an Outrun or something like that too, but definitely more action-packed with the trying to attack your enemies and stuff like that. So, pretty cool game. And I don't know. I haven't looked up this game in a while. I don't know if it's hard to find, if it's rare, if it's expensive, but it's definitely cool. So definitely check it out if you do see it, and tell me what you think. All right, so these are now the games that I did get at Pawn King. I was leaving you hanging for these favorites, but I want to show you what I got here. Now this one is an RPG, I believe, and it's I think a cult favorite because I've heard a lot of people in like gaming groups talk about it. Excuse me, and it always looked interesting to me. I'd see ads in old magazines and stuff, and it seemed pretty cool. And it's a big, really good condition multi-disc game. I think it has. Let's see. It's got a demo. That's right. It's a 2-disc game, and it's got a demo of Jade Cocoon, which is a Pokemon-style game that I don't have yet for PlayStation. But this game is called Shadow Madness, and it's put out by Crave Entertainment, which is kind of like one of those cult companies that made a lot of games back in the day. A lot of people still like them and stuff. But I remember this having above average reviews. It just didn't reach the level of the big iconic RPGs of the day, like Final Fantasies, and even like games like Legend of Dragoon, which sold a lot, even though it's not quite as good as Final Fantasy. Still, like those tended to get more talk than a game like this. But pretty glad to add that to the collection. So pretty cool they had it at Pawn King, and it was a very good price. And then this is a sequel to a game that I already have, and I got in a past PlayStation Pursuit episode. Another RPG, and another 2-disc. No demos this time though. And this game is Wild Arms 2. Got a little sticker residue I gotta get off. Plus it's got a crack in the case, so I will change the case out for that. But I really love the art in the Wild Arms games, and this is one I've wanted for a while. And even like the manual is like super crisp and everything. So really glad to get that one added to the collection. then the last game I got at Pawn King, this is the main reason I went to the Pawn King to see if they still had this one. Because from what I hear, this game is very rare. People don't seem to be able to find it. I hear people talking about how hard it is to find. And here it is sitting here, so I'm like, I should probably get it. But I checked even before I got it to see if I could catch the store slipping. I don't think they had it, they didn't have it overpriced or anything. They had it under the value, but it wasn't like I got a major score or anything off them. It was priced pretty competitively. And I can't tell because when I look it up, it seems like it doesn't go for that much online. But yet, people talk about it as if it's super rare. And then there are it's one of those games where once in a while you'll see an expensive version of it on that sold or something, and you're like, is it gonna be the next expensive game? I don't know. It's a crappy game. Angry Video Game Nerd, I believe, talked about this for the Saturn version, but it's the Crow City of Angels. So based off the movie. I think it's like a really, really shitty beat 'em up. But I'm glad to have it because it's a game I needed for the collection, and being uncommon, I'll take it. Even if this game doesn't skyrocket in value or anything, it's pretty cool to have that. So, pretty good addition there. Not too many games, but they were all new games. There was no games that are just variants or anything like that. So, pretty cool to get these. Pawn King has been pretty helpful with me finding PlayStation games from time to time. It's hard to tell with pawn stores if they're going to get old games in, but once in a while, that's why it's worth always popping in. If you're driving by one, check it out. So I'm going to do the quick tally that I probably do right now, but I'm still going to take a break to do it. And then when I come back, I will show you what I got. So after those last 3 editions from this episode, I'm now up to 548 games. So almost at 550. Pretty cool. Halfway through the 500s. So I'm not even sure I'll cross that line soon. So pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, even though there wasn't that many. Always nice to get games like this. Some of these uncommon ones, and RPGs on the PS1 are always great to add. So it was good getting these, and I hope you guys had fun watching the episode. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, etc. I'd like to interact with people in the comments, so definitely keep that up. And I will see you in the next episode of PlayStation Pursuit. Thanks.